Well, I was not expecting that at all. Needless to say, our boy Big G's generational run has been nothing but a pure success. With GXK just making the big bucks. I mean, oh my god. And off of the cheapest budget out of all 5 movies. It's insane. But the wombo combo of, -1 being a huge critical hit and box office hit as well as Monarch being, I think, Apple TV's most successful streaming show, or one of their most successful streaming shows. And then, like I said, GXK making a ton of money. It has led to Apple striking a multi-series deal with Legendary, not only renewing Monarch for season 2, but multiple spin-offs. This is a plural. That means more than one, minimum 2 spin-offs. Kid me, be crying tears of joy right now, bro. I am absolutely overjoyed at the success of all 3 of these projects, and just the fact that the MonsterVerse is somehow going to continue. I genuinely thought in 2019, we would not get a movie past 2021. So today, I'm going to be going over what I think are going to be some great ideas to expand the MonsterVerse through the Apple TV series spin-offs. Especially after the end of GXK, the possibilities are quite literally endless at this point. So we're gonna throw it back to 2016, whenever people on YouTube would just be listing off their monsters that they want to see in future Godzilla movies. That's basically what this video is gonna be, but for Apple TV shows specifically. So yeah, we're gonna get a little wish listy on this one. I think it's appropriate though. It makes sense now to talk like this. Before we get into it, obviously, spoilers for Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Since some of these show ideas I'm going to be listing off do bounce off of some stuff that's in Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. So, if you haven't seen it, spoilers. Also, what are you doing? The movie's been out for 3 weeks. Go watch it. So I think the one that literally everyone and their mother is thinking right now is our girl Mothra. She needs a good spin-off. Now, Mothra has had spin-off media before. I own the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. I'm not going over there to grab it out of my Blu-ray collection. I don't like any of those movies. I think they all suck. Now, granted, it's been years since I've watched Rebirth of Mothra 1 through 3, but I remember not liking a single one of them. I remember liking some of the kaiju from those movies. I really like Ghidorah and Death Ghidorah. But yeah, they're not it. They're not it. If you like them, more power to you. I'm not dissing you or anything. You're entitled to your opinion. It's just me personally. My pitch is a show following Mothra and Gia after the events of Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, where we get to learn more about Mothra's past, her, fighting experience, how she lost her fear of death, which is an actual, lore detail about MonsterVerse Mothra that is canon. How her connection with Godzilla was formed, why she's earned Godzilla's respect in the first place. And I think this, in turn, will be able to strengthen hers and Gia's bond, since I'm pretty sure they're just going to have Gia be the general psychic Shobijin of the MonsterVerse at this point, and I'm fine with that. That's fine. It doesn't have to just be the Mothra twins. Now, of course, we need an antagonist for a giant monster show. We need Giant Bug to fight either other Giant Bug or some other monster. I have a few picks, some obvious, some a little less obvious. My number one, obviously, Batra. I mean, who would I be if Batra wasn't on this list? I also would love to see Mothra fight Megaguirus, because I really like Megaguirus. She doesn't really get a whole lot to do. So, I think Mothra would be great to fight Megaguirus. And, another giant bug, albeit different bug species, fighting other giant bug. So I think that would be a bit more interesting of a pick. If we're going to go with Rebirth of Mothra Kaiju, I'm going to go with Ghidorah as a pick. I think Death Ghidorah is something that absolutely needs to be saved for, a film appearance, because yeah, while Death Ghidorah in Rebirth of Mothra isn't really all that, just the name itself is so imposing. I think that they need to take another crack at it. I think Legendary could genuinely make the best Death Ghidorah ever if they did it. This can also be used to explain away why the Mothra twins that were in King of the Monsters just disappeared. But I think it should be Gia earning the title of that psychic, that Shobijin role. I think she's the one that, she's basically already earned that in GXK. I'm just saying, officially, them slapping the name on it. To me, personally, it would be better to have one singular character bond with Mothra than, 2 that haven't appeared in, 3 projects, that haven't been in there since King of the Monsters. Oh, and obviously, a Godzilla cameo, of course. Mothra is one of Godzilla's best friends, so it only feels right. We need Anguirus in the MonsterVerse. I also personally would like to see a Shimo cameo. I love her. I love her to death. Shimo is love. Shimo is life. Now, this next show isn't my original idea. It's O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s idea. Ice Cube's son. He was in King of the Monsters, for y'all that don't remember. I mean, he was a minor character in that, so I understand. But the next one is... Monarch G-Team is a currently unmade pitch for an anime TV show set in the Monsterverse that, in his own words, takes elements from King of the Monsters and goes its own way. And in the post that he made with, you know, the front of the script pitch and 2 pieces of concept art, oh yeah, he won me over. He won me over big time. What is up, my boy Gigan, blending the beautiful Final Wars design with the color palette of the Showa era design, and I just... Ooh, it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, I prefer the Final Wars colors, but I also love the original Showa colors as well. Both color palettes work in my opinion, so I'm fine with either. If this design was used in either live action or anime form, yeah, it would absolutely probably be my favorite Gigan design, to be honest. Other than the original Final Wars, I mean, nothing beats that, but it's a good design. And we also see my girl Biollante in what looks to be some Hollow Earth cavernous area or something. This show has 2 of my favorite Godzilla antagonists that are not Mechagodzilla, so automatically I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'm fine with this show either being animated or live action. I would prefer it be live action though, considering how the Skull Island anime turned out. I don't hate that show. I think it's fine. It's just I would have preferred a live action Kong project. I mean, we got that's what GXK is pretty much, but I mean, yeah. And also, as long as this isn't their only appearance, like, I don't want them to just be in it and then Godzilla shows up at the end and kills both of them. They definitely need to have film appearances following that show, or this be like a prequel thing to a movie. And it would also be a great opportunity to introduce some mechanized characters into the Monsterverse, which leads into my next pitch. Now for this next pitch, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a rip-off of Pacific Rim, but Legendary made Pacific Rim, so it's fine, I don't care. Sort of similar to Monarch G-Team, like I said, more of a rip-off of Pacific Rim though. I really want a Global Defense Force / Earth Defense Force show where we have a team of mechas under Monarch's control. I say the team should be composed of a new heroic rendition of Mechagodzilla, hopefully more inspired by Kiryu than Mechagodzilla 2. I'm not a big fan of Mechagodzilla 2. My boy Moguera, as bro does not get enough love. And of course, the GOAT, Jet Jaguar. Maybe also throw in that weird-ass Titan Hunter mech from GXK The Hunted. I mean, I don't know. And maybe make a new original mech too if you want. I have 2 antagonists in mind for this show. The first is Megalon. I say just basically rip off the Gemstone short film. Just absolutely roid Megalon the hell out. Make him a formidable foe that it minimum takes this entire team of mechs to fight. If not, a Godzilla cameo so he can show up and, you know, be involved. Basically a callback to the original Godzilla vs. Megalon, considering you're going to have Jet Jaguar there. And, you know, I think Megalon would fit with the way the Monsterverse lore is set up right now perfectly, considering, you know, all the stuff with the Hollow Earth, the Iwi tribes. I genuinely thought going into GXK, and I wasn't disappointed by this is just a fan theory I had, but I genuinely thought that, like, the Iwi tribe and everything was going to be setting up Seatopia for the Monsterverse. And I mean, hey, if you want to take that route and they're, like, on another part of Hollow Earth in this like oceanic realm, then you want to do Monsterverse Seatopia, go for it. I say go for it. The other I have in mind is Mecha King Ghidorah. I've never been a huge fan of Mecha King Ghidorah, but I think if we do it this way, it'll work a lot better. The way this one will work would be that in the shadows, Apex is secretly planning their return to emerge from within Monarch, since, you know, they've been liquidized into Monarch, from what I understand, after the events of GXK, or GVK, my bad. Maybe Ren actually survived or something, and this has been part of his grand plan. But either way, Mecha King Ghidorah, I would personally prefer it be all mechanical, like completely robot. I know that makes no sense, but I would like that more. Either that, or they attempt to make another evil Mechagodzilla, and it does what we thought was going to happen in Godzilla vs. Kong, and he bursts out of the sides and becomes Mecha King Ghidorah that way, in some like body horror kind of deal. And just like Megalon, it would take all 3 of these mechs to take on Mecha King Ghidorah. This one, I say absolutely you gotta have a Godzilla cameo for him to show up and defeat Ghidorah. There's no way that you do Mecha King Ghidorah and you don't have Godzilla involved. Another one that I think literally the entire fan base is wanting, and I know for sure that I'm wanting post GXK. One of my minor nitpicks that I had with the film was that there really wasn't any flashback sequences. I was hoping that there would be some flashback sequences to at least give us some glimpses into the past of, like, you know, how Scar King came to power, how he got control of Shimo, all this other stuff. Especially considering he's an old ass man by the time we meet him in GXK. He's old. He is senile. The film showed us that these titans can definitely lead the film on their own, and the humans can be subjugated to side characters. I mean, literally, like, the best part of GXK is all the stuff with Kong and Godzilla. I think all of the Titan stuff is just, oh my god, top notch. So I would absolutely love to see a prequel series where it's Godzilla running around while he was, like, in his younger days, maybe even while his species was still alive if you wanted to, before he has his first run-ins with Ghidorah and Scar King, obviously. And I think, you know, either of those encounters makes a great season finale for this show. Also, speaking of prequels, now, this one could be a season of Godzilla B.C. It could also be its own show. It could even be its own movie, maybe even a prequel trilogy. I'm just going to pitch it as a show for the time being because I think that'll be a good format to do it in. But, I mean, I'm not against a MonsterVerse prequel trilogy, so I'm just putting that out there. One of the most intriguing aspects of MonsterVerse lore to me is the Great Titan War. I have always wanted to see it visually. You know, hearing about how the Godzillas and Kongs came to hate each other and how this war started, and, you know, seeing these cave paintings and stuff, I absolutely feel like all of us MonsterVerse fans need to see the Great Titan War. Like, we're dying to see it. I want to see what this period of peace was like before, when the Godzillas and the Kongs were, you know, at peace with each other. I want to see the event that caused them to have this burning hatred for one another's species, and what led to them fighting before they had to unite to take on the Zozlahawa, the Gojira that ate a star, which I am absolutely fully subscribed to the theory that Zozlahawa is Space Godzilla. I'm not going to get into it here. If you want to hear that theory, you know, there's plenty of videos about it on YouTube. Just look up Zozlahawa Space Godzilla. But I think that this show would be a great, like, right before you do whatever movie has Space Godzilla in it, great way to introduce him. That way, not only he's in multiple projects, but you really get to establish how much of a threat he is, that it literally took 2 entire species to drive him off to space. This also ties into another prequel idea that I have, and that is this is something that I have been wanting ever since I heard the little tidbit about Ghidorah's species being much larger and more dangerous than the one that we saw in King of the Monsters from that novelization. Plus, also, I just think that if any Godzilla kaiju that's not Godzilla is going to carry their own solo project, it's going to be Ghidorah. Like, I think he makes more sense than Mothra, to be honest with you. I've had this pitch literally since King of the Monsters, like I said. My idea is that it is a 6 to 8 episode anthology series with a very loose overarching plot, basically just following Ghidorah's everyday life. The first episode would start on the Exilian homeworld. I'm just going to go full send and say the Exilians are in the MonsterVerse because, you know, they pretty much teased them in GXK with that little graffiti. They might as well be on the way, I guess. But we already know Ghidorah is not of Earth. He is an alien. So my pitch is that this young Ghidorah that we see in King of the Monsters is chosen by the Exilians to go on, you know, a wide conquest rampage because, you know, he's, I guess, mature enough at this point. I don't know. But each episode we see him and the Exilian ship go to different planets, and we have about an hour-long episode each time as we see Ghidorah just absolutely wipe the planets clean, destroying all their civilizations. Maybe you could throw in some extra alien kaiju as cameos. Maybe this is how they find Gigan. Maybe Gigan's from a different planet and they stole him from wherever they destroyed his original planet at. And I think it truly would make Ghidorah that much more menacing of a villain. And also, you know, since you, I guess, want to have a human connection, even though the Exilians are not humans, you can have this story with the Exilians showing that at first they're really apprehensive and not really committed to the idea of let's just go around killing everybody with giant 3-headed space dragon, to by the time they get to Earth, they're just like, we've already done it. We might as well commit to it. And obviously, the season finale would be Godzilla and Ghidorah meeting for the first time. And obviously, show them fighting and how Godzilla defeated Ghidorah back in the day. Was Shimo involved at all? I mean, I would like Shimo to be involved. I love Shimo. Shimo's love, Shimo is life. She can have an active or passive role, whether she actually was there with Godzilla and this was before Scar King enslaved her and that they were allies at one point. Either that or, you know, she was already doing her little Ice Age deal and it just caused the planet to freeze over, therefore leading to Ghidorah just being frozen after his fight with Godzilla. Whichever explanation works for me, honestly. I don't care. Well, those are pretty much all the shows that I think could really expand the MonsterVerse in a very nice way. If I had to pick any of these projects that I listed off to get made, it would absolutely have to be the Ghidorah show. I know it's weird coming from a Mechagodzilla stand that I'm picking this over the Earth Defense Force Godzilla Defense Force show. But I mean, even if Ghidorah isn't my number one, my favorite Godzilla antagonist, I still love the guy. I mean, I just got the Hiya Toys one. I'm not about to get that guy off the shelf. I'm sorry. I'm not. He is literally the Joker to Godzilla's Batman, and I think it's fitting for him to get a show. I mean, my sister knows who Ghidorah is, and she really doesn't care about Godzilla at all, so I think that should explain how popular this guy is. But I want to thank y'all for watching. I love doing these little theoretical videos on like where the MonsterVerse could go, all this other stuff. I got a few more of them I'm working on. The next one is going to be what I want from the next MonsterVerse film. My apologies for not uploading for a bit. I mean, it's literally like the last month of the semester for me. I'm in college, so you know, school is just whooping my ass, you know what I'm saying? And also, I want to let you all know the GXK spoiler review still is coming out. It's going to take quite a bit of time. It's going to be probably an hour long. I absolutely love this movie to death. I don't care what anyone tells me. It's not perfect. It's not the best like Godzilla movie ever or anything, but it is a movie that kid me would have wanted. So, you know, I wanted to really make a video dedicated to it, like a really big video. I love it to death, and you know, I've basically made this channel hyping up the new Empire in a way. It's been out for 3 weeks now. I mean, the hype's kind of dying down, and I've really kind of missed that train because I haven't got to upload much with school and everything. But you know, it is what it is. We ball. We got plenty more MonsterVerse content coming. I ain't got absolutely nothing to worry about. So yeah, expect that spoiler review. I'm gonna say at the end of April, maybe even in the beginning of May. Like I said, it's going to be an hour-long video minimum, more than likely. It's not just me. I'm going to have multiple guest speakers in the video, so yeah, just prepare for that. But yeah, once again, thank you all for watching the video. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment. If you have more ideas for a MonsterVerse spinoff that I didn't list off in this video, go ahead and drop it in the comments section. I definitely want to hear some of y'all's suggestions. I meant to work one in that has all the comic monsters in it, but you know, it is what it is. I just forgot. And if you want to see more kaiju content, obviously hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video. Follow my Instagram and my TikTok because I be posting when I upload here on those. So yeah. With all that said, once again, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.